Aurora Police shot and killed a teenager who they're calling a suspect. This following a shootout early this morning.
It happened in an apartment complex not far from Jewel and Peoria. 9 News reporter Ria Jha is there. Ria, what have you learned about this?
Yeah, we're at the Arboreta apartment complex, and all of this happened in the middle of the night. So a lot of people I spoke with here were sleeping. Some of people woke up to the shots being fired. Other people just slept right through it. And we're not sure where in this building it happened, but we do know it was an 18-year-old who was shot and killed. When we were here earlier today, Aurora Police had crime team up around the front of this building. Police say it started around 11:15 last night with a call about an 18-year-old armed with a handgun who had assaulted a woman and was threatening his roommates. When they got here, Aurora Police say their hostage negotiation team got the woman out of the apartment, but the 18-year-old stayed inside. Police say they tried to negotiate him to surrender until about 1 a.m., and that's when they say he came to the doorway and fired multiple shots at officers, which led one officer to shoot back at the 18-year-old, and he later died in the hospital. Now, Aurora Police have not yet identified him, and that officer who did shoot the 18-year-old will be under investigation and is on administrative leave as that proceeds. If you know anything, you're urged to call Metro Denver Crime Stoppers. Reporting live in Aurora, Ria Jha, 9 News.
Okay, Ria, thanks very much. Much more still to learn on that as things develop. Meanwhile, Denver police are investigating a shooting that left one man dead early this morning. Police say it happened in the area of East Colfax and Josephine at about 2 a.m. That's where they found a man with a gunshot wound, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. If you know anything about what happened with this shooting, you're asked to call police.
Let's take a live look at Horsetooth Reservoir this evening. It was a gorgeous day across the state with highs reaching into the lower 70s. Nice and cool this morning, and this weather might continue into the next week. Lauren, it really turned out to be a really lovely weekend.
That's right. We saw more fall-like temperatures yesterday, but today warmer weather has settled in while other areas are still seeing some snow off to the southwest. Right now we're at 73 degrees at DIA, most of the Front Range at Eastern Plains in the 60s and 70s with 40s, 50s and 60s off to the west. Now let's take a look at this 24-hour temperature change map. Denver is about 10 degrees warmer than we were this time yesterday, but other areas of the northern Front Range and northern plains are anywhere from around 10 to 20 degrees warmer. Now that can't be said for the entire state because off to the southwest, we do still have several winter weather alerts in effect through the rest of the evening. So we're going to continue to watch for winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories across the San Juan Mountains. In addition to that, we now have freeze warnings that'll be in effect overnight tonight as lows across the Four Corners region are expected to drop to near 28 degrees. As we monitor our live radar, we will continue to watch for most of this moisture to stay off to the west and southwest. We're going to look for that heavier snow to continue across the San Juans, across the Front Range and adjacent foothills and high country, just some spotty rain showers, a couple of snowflakes here and there. So coming up in my full 7-day forecast, we're going to talk a bit more about the mountain snow chances tonight and overnight. We could see a couple of raindrops in the Denver metro area tomorrow morning, but through the rest of the week, we're going to stay sunny and warm.
A man is accused of trying to kidnap an 8-year-old girl from her bedroom in northeast Colorado. This happened in Sterling last Tuesday. Police say 56-year-old Thomas Gallegos assaulted the girl in her bedroom. She fought him off. Police say he took off before officers could get there. They arrested him yesterday. He's now facing a number of charges, including attempted kidnapping, burglary, and assault.
In Fort Collins, police are now investigating a deadly collision that involved a motorcycle. Police say the rollover crash happened at Prospect and LeMay. It involved a Ford Focus and that motorcycle at about 6:45 last night. Witnesses say it was the rider that disregarded a red light and caused the collision. 2 people inside the car had to be extricated before being taken to a nearby hospital for treatment. That motorcycle rider was also taken to the hospital. That's where he later died. Fort Collins police now handling that investigation. 2 crew members who were missing following the crash of a U.S. Navy jet in mountainous terrain in Washington have now been declared dead. That jet was on what was supposed to be a routine training flight when it crashed east of Mount Rainier on Tuesday. Search teams immediately launched to try to find the crew and crash site. The U.S. Navy said today the crew members have been declared dead. It was Army Special Forces soldiers who were brought in to reach the wreckage. It was located Wednesday by an aerial crew. It was resting about 6,000 feet up in a remote, steep, and heavily wooded area east of Rainier.
Make sure to keep your eyes to the skies tonight. There's a meteor shower. It's happening. Could be a really good one. The American Meteor Society says the Orion meteor shower is active for the next few weeks, but it peaks tonight after midnight through tomorrow morning. It is known for its brightness and the speed of the meteors. And the Orion, you can be able to see it up to 20 meteors an hour. The supermoon was just in the sky, so that may hamper the view a little bit. Experts say you can enjoy views of the meteor shower from anywhere in the U.S., depending on the weather, of course. They say a dark, open sky with no moon is the best. So look in the lower half of the sky or along the horizon. We've got good news if you witnessed any of the recent Northern Lights displays. Scientists say they're likely to witness even more over the coming months, and it's all thanks to the active sun. NASA, NOAA, and the International Solar Cycle Prediction Panel just announced that the sun has reached its solar maximum period. Who knew? That means it's reached the peak of its 11-year solar cycle. So during this time, the number of sunspots increases. Sunspots, the source of solar flares, which can cause geomagnetic storms when they hit the Earth. They're also responsible for the northern lights, and these displays won't be going away anytime soon. Scientists expect that whole thing could continue through the next year.
Back to the weather in the tropics. Hurricane Oscar has made landfall now in the southeastern Bahamas. It hit Cuba this afternoon. The National Hurricane Center in Miami says the storm center arrived on Great Inagua Island early today. They're expecting a dangerous storm surge that could translate into significant coastal flooding there and in other areas of the southeastern Bahamas. Again, it has made landfall in Cuba this afternoon. They're expecting 2 to 4 inches of rainfall, with isolated areas possibly seeing as many as 6 inches. And authorities are continuing to keep an eye on tropical storm Nadine that formed east of Belize. She also threatening to bring heavy rain to Belize and eastern Mexico. Nadine is expected to make landfall along the coastline of Belize sometime tonight. That storm, though, is expected to dissipate rapidly once it does move inland. Nadine, though, will bring torrential rainfall that could lead to flooding and mudslides, with up to 8 inches of rain expected to fall across parts of Belize, Guatemala, and Mexico.